What's going on, YouTube? Well, it's been a week on the old Escape. Got me a cylinder head. Guaranteed good. You know, you guarantee it's not hot, no valves are bent. They said it's cool. Everything's been checked out. So, super duper. I would love to check it myself before I throw it in for straightness. But I don't have a machinist straight edge. And a regular straight edge just isn't good enough. Yeah, I can throw one on there and put some feeler gauges in there and ballpark it, but it still doesn't tell me anything. I don't know if it's the head or if it's the straight edge. I don't know. So I'm not going to consider it a valid measurement without a machinist straight edge. So I'm just going to have to take their word for it and throw it in. So there's the head. And here is a bunch of Chinese parts. It's got, by the big three gaskets, you know they gotta be good. Top quality Chinese shit. Got me a head gasket, got the other gasket. Torque to yield bolts. I got timing chain, guides, fucking tensioner. Got all the shit. Where is the old chain? Hey, even comes with some generic RTV. No instructions for the experienced mechanic only, they say. Here's the old chain. Look at the sag in that old chain. That thing sure is stretched. Fuck, right on top of the head gasket. I already cleaned up the block with green scotch, with a red Scotch-Brite and some brake clean. All of the metal shavings that were back in that hole there. I took compressed air and brake clean and a magnetic tip screwdriver. Got all I could out. Then I blew the rest down into the oil pan. So, you know, I got to pull the oil pan anyway. So we're looking good on the top end. I gotta clean out the piston still because I got a bunch of debris and shit in there from cleaning the head. So let me get that head in here, clean that off, get the intake bolted on it, do all I gotta do under here, and I'll bring it back when I'm setting it on. Woo! Man, doing shit like that always makes me nervous, because how do you know something didn't fall, you know, in between the gasket and the head when it was tipped over? Fucking makes me nervous. Let me look up the torque and the sequence and all that bullshit, and I'll get her torqued down. It's a clean head. Look how clean that thing is. I like it. Ugh. Golly, that's tight. There you go. One torqued head. Before I put that chain on and the cams in and yada yada yada, I'm gonna hook up all my coolant lines and all that shit, fill it full of water. I'm just curious if you know what I mean. I'm nervous about that head gasket. I'm gonna get it to the point where it'll hold water. Here's the deal, YouTube. Heads, you know, the head's bolted on. I got it all full of water. I forgot to put on a heater hose. That's that mess. But I got my engine support bar on it. Ain't like that. So I could take out my little device here. I want to get this oil pan off. I want to hurry up and get this oil pan off, get everything cleaned out. That way, when I put it back together, I can just put everything back together in order You know, the way it came apart. Looky there. There's a bunch of shavings. There's a bunch of shavings. Alright. What's it look like up in here? Oh boy, there's still a lot up in there. How the fuck am I gonna clean that out? Alright, pan's cleaned out. Pan was easy. That shit was easy. This was... did the best I could. I got most of it. Sprayed some brake clean up in there. Twisted up a paper towel, jammed it in there. It's as good as I'm gonna get it. She'll be alright. She'll be alright. Well, YouTube, there's problems. Cruising along, getting everything hooked up. Doing my thing. Got the oil pump chain on. Went to go put on the main chain. And then yet that chain does not fit worth a fuck. Well, what is it? Is it the cheap eBay chain? Or is it the camshafts? After doing some poking around, that chain fits on the crankshaft sprocket beautifully. And after looking at some part numbers on Rock Auto, there is two different sprockets. You got a 39 tooth and a 50 tooth. Those are the 39s, I need the 50. What the difference is model-wise, like why did this one get the 39, why did this one get the 50 as opposed to the 39? I have no idea, but all I know is that's what I need. So, I called up the place where I got the cylinder head from, and they said more than likely my core is still there. So, tomorrow, I'm going to go up, see if I can find my core, and get my sprockets back. Other than that, there's, you know, not much more I could do. Shit. Look what I got, people of YouTube. One new sprocket, one used sprocket. Jesus, it's been more than a week since I worked on this. Last time when I left off, I said I'm going to try to go get my core, see if I can get my old sprockets. Well, I drove up there. The core was still there, but, you know, they disassemble the steel from the aluminum, throw it in fucking piles and shit. I couldn't find them. So I hit my pick parts 2005, 6, or 7. I couldn't find one of those in the fucking pick apart. From what I gathered, different sprocket count is after a build date from 2007 on up. Okay? And another reason why it took a week is I got one from good old Rock Auto. Alright? The Rock Auto one isn't fucking right. It's a brand new one, but it's still got the wrong tooth count. And what I was doing was, when I was cross-referencing part numbers to see what car I can get one from at the pick-apart, I was using that Rock Auto number. Well, it turns out the description in Rock Auto's website that said this was a 52, because they sent me the right part number on the paperwork, on the box, and everything. The fucking description is wrong. So when I was cross-referencing the number to other Mazda motors, so I could steal that sprocket, it was a different number. Because it was really this part with the wrong description. So it took me a while to figure that out. It was just a bunch of fucking bullshit, and fuck Rock Auto. So I bought one, okay? And I used the other one for my core motor here. I couldn't use that one because of the cam phaser. I took that one. And like I said, I would have took another one from the junkyard, but they had a different part number because Rock Auto's fucking stupid. So I ended up getting one from O'Reilly's, of all people. O'Reilly's had it in 2 days. You know? Jesus Christ, I wish I had done that in the first place. So let me get these on here. One thing about the Mazda Sprocket is it had friction washers on it. Okay, the Escape Sprocket that took off didn't have friction washers. I don't know why one would and one wouldn't, but this vehicle itself didn't have friction washers, so I'm not putting them on. I'm just putting them on bare like they would have been. Okay. Jeez, and let me get this buttoned up. Get the chain on, get the cover on, yada, yada, yada. Real quick, YouTube. Moving along. Got the chain and all that shit on. Now, with all this cheap-ass eBay shit, the only problem I had was that guide for the oil pump chain. I had to use the old one, which it's in fine shape. The reason I had to do that is because the new one is a little bit thicker. The bolt is also a pivot. So with that tightened down, with that one being a little bit thicker, with this eBay one being a little bit thicker, it doesn't pivot. It was binding up. So I just put the old one in there with the new spring. Just wanted to point that out real quick. Other than that, this Chinese shit's been fucking direct fit, no problem. Alright, YouTube, moment of truth. She's back together. It went together fairly quickly, pretty easy. After the timing chain, all that, and after I got the crank bolt tightened up, spun everything over by hand, everything felt, pretty smooth. I added the oil before I put the valve cover on, so it wasn't a total dry start. Poured it all over the chain, cams, all that shit. It's a moment of truth. I haven't even cranked it over yet. It's either going to run really good or something bad's going to happen. Let's find out.
I am the smartest man alive!
That went misleadingly easy. It ain't smoking. It smells bad. But yeah, I did have my hand all over that exhaust. Remember when I said I didn't have any problem with the cheap Chinese eBay shit? That was true, other than with that chain tensioner and the valve cover. I had a problem with that valve cover. It was different. It didn't fit. I had to reuse the old one. I guess I didn't have to. I could have went out and got another one. But at this point, I just want to get it done and see if it'll fucking work. Let me clear a bunch of bullshit out. Well, let me get it warmed up. Once I let it warm up, I'll move shit out of the way. We'll take it for a cruise. Fucking A. So far, no check engine lights. No weird noises. Hey, a Mustang. Air works too. Alright, they didn't lie to me. Man, she's pretty straight. Not a bad car. It is no problem getting to 60 miles an hour. Shut the fuck up. It has no problem getting to 60 miles an hour, but man, from a dead stop, it just feels, I don't know, it feels sluggish. I don't want to just fucking hold it to the floor, you know? Brand new, I just put it together. I don't see a cloud of smoke behind me, so that's good. That was only about a quarter throttle. It just, I don't know. I'm not used to this car. Maybe it's just because I've never driven one before. Just feels sluggish. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put brakes on this car. Alright, just got home and let's play What the Fuck Is That Noise? Let me turn off the AC, see if it still makes that noise. Hear that little metallic rattle? That really does sound like a drive, like an accessory. It doesn't sound like anything internal. But I can't hear shit over that electric fan. Let me let it cool down and listen again. Well, she's cooled down a bit. Check the oil, put a little bit more in there. Checked the antifreeze, top that off. Topped off everything. Let's fire it up again. Man, she sounds alright, man. She sounds pretty good to me. I think whatever we were hearing before was an accessory noise. I'm not overly concerned about it. What the fuck is that noise? There it goes. I'm not overly concerned about it. She seems to run really well, sounds really good. Other than that noise, what the fuck is that? It's that front accessory again. Something in there is not happy, but whatever. I don't give a shit about the front accessory. I can fix that. I care about the internals. So, yeah, there's a couple more bugs to work out. I got to put brakes on it. And I believe 2 of the back windows don't work. But, whatever. Use cylinder head on a Ford Escape. That's what it takes to do it. Make sure you got the right cam sprockets. I'm happy with it. I'd do it again. I guess the takeaway is this a repair or is this a permanent repair? Time will tell. Assuming that head is what they said it is and in fine and dandy shape, I don't see any reason why it's not a permanent repair. There's a lot of risk taking on this job. And time will tell if it's going to pay off. I plan on having this car for a little while before I dump it. So, I'll know. I'll keep you posted if something terrible happens. This was a fun one, YouTube. I learned something. You learned something. Alright. Peace.